Hello, this is DarkElf85 on YouTube, or HektontheMage on PSN, and welcome back to Masquerada Songs and Shadows. I hope everyone's doing okay. I'm okay. Kind of tired. I was tired, then I had dinner, then I was still tired. And I was kind of like, I'm okay, and then I wasn't. So, yeah. Issues. I need to probably start trying to exercise, even though that's very hard to do.
Tides. That's
beautiful.
All right, Ricardo. I hereby promise never to rat you out.
Sir, we'll go in and tell the owner that you're here. We'll be right back.
I don't understand. This is too beautiful.
There's only one of you doing it.
Empty.
The owner was telling us that the people of the city forgot about it ever since the war started. In the first year of the war, the road that led here was frequented by masked runners.
Makes sense that people stopped coming.
What a pity.
I'm not shedding any tears. The more space we have to ourselves, the better, I say.
He's ready for you, sir.
They don't explain why we're coming over here. I understand kind of why. I was trying to put that in when I was updating the last video. I was just like, I don't know what to say other than we're ending at an inn, or I forget what I put, but you know, it's like, yeah, we're just meeting someplace out of the city. Let's see. Ever since meeting her, I have yet to be unsurprised by her actions. First, she exhibits traits and mannerisms none would expect from a member of the DIC. I don't how that was pronounced, because I don't think they've actually said it. Next, she proclaims great interest in the Dimenticate and their and their history, but yet refuses to come with us even at the prospect of learning one of the greatest mysteries about them. After that, she makes it clear that all it required for her to come aboard the investigation was a promise of a little wealth and a drop of aggression. There is only one kind of a character that I come to recognize that would display traits as inconsistent as these. One with a shredded psyche, who is adrift, torn between a past, perhaps, and a crippling prospect of the future. I suspect she has lost herself somewhere in her history, and now she spends her days wandering about without a proper compass to guide her. Cases such as this are all too common in Umbra, where so many yearn for second chances or a new lease on their lives, whereas you just wanted to get into the bottom of a empty cup or a full cup. Full cup. That would make better sense. Have alcohol, folks. Well, you all probably understood my reference, maybe. Now Dark has forgot where he was, because Dark is kind of tired. New lease on their lives. Many think severing the ties with the worlds in which they had once lived is an effective way of moving on from a tragedy, or coping with a loss of a sort. I know this, for I speak from experience. Traveling to the Kivali Plains was my chance to start fresh. Yet you became a drunkard. How is that starting fresh? Starting fresh. Oh, sorry, that was a comma. Oopsies. The commas and periods look quite similar to me from this distance. No, they are quite similar. No, actually, those are both commas. The periods are smaller. That's very confusing. Anyway, was my chance to start afresh, I believed, but as much as I tried not to think of the war, of my brother, the more I tried to cut the past out of the present, the more it shaped me, defined me, paralyzed me. A big long sentence. It's a Charles Dickens sentence. I'm sorry, I'm just remembering reading like Great Expectations and did he do A Tale of Two Cities? I'm pretty sure he did A Tale of Two Cities. And especially Great Expectations. And just like pages upon pages of a sentence. It's like, what the fuck? I still remember, and I didn't had to read this, but I didn't realize it, and I ended up reading way ahead. Like, I remember, oh my gosh. So this is Honors English, would it be Honors English 1-2? That must have been it for ninth grade, so freshman year in high school. And I thought I had to read a certain amount of pages, but I ended up reading like probably the next 2 days worth of reading or whatever. But I remember it was like, I think it was like a start of one of the chapters, and I was just like, wait, hold on, we were in England, and now all of a sudden we're in someplace in Africa. What the fuck? It's because he was at a play or something, and I was just like really confused until like what, maybe 3, 4, 5 pages in, it dawned on me, or it was explained that he was at the theater, and I was like, oh my gosh. And of course, I didn't go to bed that morning because it was the next day until like maybe 3 or so in the morning. Of course, I'm like 14, 15. I'm just like reading a book. But anyway, not that I'm saying books are bad. I love reading books. I obviously am an English major, but yeah, that yeah. Anywho, where was I? If I paralyzed me. I turned to spirits. There we go. There's his alcoholicness. I turned to spirits and wines as relief, and ventured into dark areas of the mind that I'd rather not recount. I did all this, and still it was not enough, and now I see hints of a similar situation in her. I'm not intending on bringing her along so that I can act as a counselor, but if I might be able to provide a relief of some sort, the path that I'd once tread is a path I'd like to see no others journeying on. Whoop, there was something else I forgot. Nope. The astiguary, sure. Located in the shore of shadows, the border between the light of the sun and the shadow of the mountain that moves across the city as the day progresses. Okay. The astiguary. That can't be right. Astiguary. The astiguary is an establishment that belongs to a good friend of mine, Levanthos Mirimbus. Okay, that's why. I'd never seen it before my return to Umbra. I am more familiar with the Leaping Lion, Levanthos' previous inn, but I must say that the astiguary's facade... Interesting that they don't have the accent mark over, is it under the C for facade. Actually, I guess they haven't had accent marks in this. But usually people put an accent mark over facade because that one isn't, because it's not a common word like resume or something. Even though facade, I don't think has any other spelling or pronunciation to mean a different word, unlike resume, which could be resume. I don't think there's a facade. I don't think there's a facade. But anyway, astiguary's facade is a appropriately reflective of its owner's personality. Despite being in the center of a dark city, the estuary remains beautiful and warm. Levanthos is very much the same. Though he lives in a city of shadows and deception, he has let none of them into his heart. Ah, I want to explore. Pack animals can walk right through because they're not real things. Kitty! Okay. I love that there's kitties everywhere. Why is there a blacksmith? Oh, for the mules, I guess. I love the plants. The music's good. I've been watching Suikoden playthroughs, and I realized that is one of my favorite JRPGs. I just haven't. I always forget about it though. I don't know why. Okay, I say it's one of my favorite series JRPGs. I've only played 1, 2, 3, and 4. I haven't played Tactics, and I have not played 5, and I haven't played the Terrestus, the Nintendo DS one. Unfortunately, I've been always meaning to buy it, but it's just so expensive. And then when am I actually going to be playing on a handheld game? The answer is if I'm going somewhere and I'm not driving or walking, or it has to be like a long distance train ride, bus ride, or airplane. And that's coming up, but it's not. But, we've got other games. Yeah. But I do like this. The music's good. 1 and 2 especially. 3, 4, the music's good in those two. I don't like how they changed the battle formation system in 3. Then they brought it back to 1 and 2-ish, I think, in 4, although that one, the thing that makes 4 is the overworld map, because it's basically islands, and I don't know anything about 5. And 3, which is their first time doing a 3D game, so there's that too. Yeah. But anyway. But 3 is technically part of the 1 and 2 because of the majority of the characters.
All right. Let's see.
4 goes back in time, and 5, I don't know. I don't know if that's still back in time or back in the future.
Ben.
Wait.
And present.
You know each other.
What? I don't believe it.
How have you been?
I should be asking you that question.
Pencil
Rascal.
mustache.
Why didn't you tell me you were bringing him?
We didn't know that.
Well, why don't the lot of you find some rooms that suit you? As you can tell, the entire place is basically yours.
I'm making no money
about
off of
that,
you.
friend?
Yay!
The twins were saying something about price.
Ha! Cicero, please. What do you think I am? The kind of man who swindles his friends? No, that treatment is reserved for the dastardly. You stay here for free.
Ven, I can't.
I insist.
You need
And
money.
I insist not. You will take something, or I'm afraid I'm going to have to walk out.
All right. But remember, you insisted. Now, please, the...
Uh-oh.
Ages, Lucia. You had me worried.
Is this a bad time? I was out in the Pale Isle when I saw you leave the spire. I hope you don't mind that I followed you. I thought it'd be prudent for me to offer an apology.
The rest of you, call it a night. Get a room, get comfortable. I'm certain Levanthus over here can get you all settled in.
Definitely. We won't disturb. Promise.
All right. About suggesting that Avestus call you back, Cicero,
You can pay me back by telling me all you know about the Masquerades.
Sorry?
Come on, you're hard of hearing now. You said you were investigating them, yes?
Unbelievable. All right. Over drinks?
That we're gonna just take from the bar
like a
because
plan.
Leventos
first things
is
first.
cool with that.
This herald.
Who the fuck is the Herald? Where is he? Okay. Oh, I'm tired. New chapter reached. To the knife behind his back? Battle? Behind the back? I don't know what it said.
Returning back to their factions, the way things were before my brother.
And which faction has Razitof?
They call themselves the Dactytes. They're the ones we met at the Quiet Order.
Dactytes.
By the Herald.
Got it.
Exactly.
And what do you plan to do?
By the lady, I thought.
Find this herald and get Razitof back. Simple as that.
Simple. There she is.
You are.
Of
Is
course.
she the result of the cleaver?
Result?
How did you find us?
I returned to the White Spire this morning. Inspector Lucia was there. Apparently, she'd been here for most of last night.
Can't hide forever.
Marshal, this is Armadea. She'll be lending us her expertise in the Dementicate.
You've
Amadea?
spoken to her.
Not
of the
Amadea.
artifacts, then.
We have.
So, what are they? What do they do?
We're not entirely sure yet. Our leads in the cleaver were destroyed.
What are your plans now?
We need to get Razitof back from the Masquerines, a faction of them called the Dactytes to be specific, and we're going to do that by finding the Herald, their leader.
Direct. How refreshing. And how do you intend to find this herald?
By finding Lysandra Rorik.
What?
The leader of the Mask Runners.
Make a distinction, Marshal. Lysandra leads the Melakate. They're not the Masquerines with Razitof.
Just tell me which groups I should be taking note of.
The first,
And where
the
I should be
Dactytes,
killing.
a new faction led by the Herald who have Razitof. The second, what remains of the Melakate, led by Lysandra, my brother's second in command.
And you want to find her because you believe she can lead us to the Herald?
Yes, and Lucia concurs.
Inspector, those are
Concurs,
mask
yeah.
runners you're talking about associating yourself with.
We're not colluding with them. We just need information.
They are fugitives of the law.
If you have another suggestion on how we should find Razitof, please, I'm all ears.
I hope you know what you're doing.
To find her, Lucia has suggested that we turn to a character called the Bloodless.
I suppose that is a smart move.
No.
Lucia didn't tell me very much about the man.
He is a man without honor.
He is a smart man of the Laborus Solus who recognizes the power of information and
Laborus
secrets.
Solus.
If there is anyone that can track a person down in the city, it is him.
The Luca have spent years attempting to locate this man. He's crossed more than a few of my guild's boundaries.
Note that we are not here to tend to the Golden Guild's interests.
You might not be.
You think Favio will be happy with you stopping this investigation just to catch one man?
Yes.
Oh, fine. I will not act against him.
I do not trust him.
Calvin.
I am sorry, Cicero, but there are entities in this city that I do not wish to be involved with.
For the sake of your brother, even?
As long as I don't ever have
Didn't hear
anything to
it.
do with him.
And how do you intend to establish contact with this enigma?
You seem to know a thing or two about him.
I've worked with one of his messengers before. Vasco Tessitore. He's often found in a tavern called the Bleeding Beetle. That is our best
Leading
bet.
beetle?
Then what are we waiting for?
Jesus, she's... In, out, in, out. Oh, golly. No.
What do you want?
Oh, this is a talking
You
point?
seem troubled.
I stick with you for one day, and already I'm part of plans to venture into the darkest parts of the city. Mask runners, the bloodless.
It is often in the shadows do secrets hide. And we are chasing big secrets.
What do you think the city will be like once we find Razitof and the artifacts?
Well, Mascherines will no longer be scarce, which means the fundamental threads that our society has been woven from will change. How that even begins to affect our world. Well, the guilds might not even need to exist. The titles of Contadani and Masquerada might cease to mean anything. I really don't know.
I suppose we'll find out.
Sierra Verde. The mountain Sierra Verde has watched over Umbra since its inception and sheltered it from the harsh, from harsh weather. none have been able to explain the strange wound in the mountain in which the city nestles cozily, or how the mountain is still able to stand despite the gash in its base. In fact, little is known about the mountain at all. It had been around since the time of the Dementicata, which, Dementites, yeah. Some extant records mention it, and the primary geological component of the mountain, a rock called Ombrite, of course it's Ombrite, cannot be branded, but that is close to all the knowledge we have on it. How the mountain came to be and what relationship it had, and perhaps still has, with the lands around it remain mysteries. A mystery, 'tis a mystery of mysteries. Ha. Okay, was there anything else on that? No, it's character crap. Keldon's response to the Bloodless has been unkind at best, savage worst. What is it about the information broker that provokes him so? It must be whatever he is keeping from me. I should see if I can sieve out any further details. He attacks children! I don't know. Well, so the first lie has been fed. I cannot let her know that we have discovered the functions of the artifacts that Razitof searches for. If she knows that they have the ability to create Mascherines, that will only advance and hasten the Luca's involvement. The Golden Guild needs to be kept out of this for as long as possible. I'm not unfamiliar with the toxic rewards to be reaped from a lie sowed, or how quickly and violently deception can destroy acquaintanceships if left to fester. I expect that she will not be the least bit surprised when, or pleased when, or if, she finds out that we have been keeping this information from her. But again, I cannot let that interfere with the advancement of the investigation. You do what you must, Marshal, and so will I. If we are to find Razitof, it is clear that this herald is our best lead. We aren't going to get anywhere without any information about the identity of this herald. However, and I believe I know just the person that might be able to help us with that. And we don't actually have them as a point. Anything up here? Do the twins have anything to say? Okay, there's a checkpoint. Learning point. Can I go through doors? No. No doors for you. Oh, it's a talk point.
Sure you don't want to come?
Yes.
He's going to help us find your brother, you know.
Then I'll be glad when he does.
I'll see you later then.
You cannot have 4 people in your party. Only 3.
Then, are you still interested in that hobby of yours? Collecting stones and fine metals and all that?
I haven't changed that much.
Well, have a look at this, please, and tell me all you can of it.
What is it?
I was hoping you could tell me. I have a feeling it's got at least a few, special properties.
Like summoning Fae to destroy you.
I'll do some tests and measurements and get back to you about it when you return.
So the Fae is going to storm this inn when we come back?
About it, if you could.
My lips are sealed.
That's what I'm wondering. What the Fae's going to attack. It is difficult to talk about Levanthos without smiling. The man is truly a joy to be around, an attribute that is scarce to be found in Umbra. Well, that's because he's not in Umbra. He's outside of Umbra. I think we've established that. Many who know me know that Levanthos has been a large part of my life for a long time, but if I'm to describe my relationship with the man, we must first start at the beginning. You know, 5 million paragraphs ago. God damn it. Runic, just off the waters. Cyrus settled the... Okay, I'm not going to read story. We're going to just read it silently. You can pause and read it, but more than likely you're going to be able to read faster than me because I have never learned the technique of skimming. True to be an English major, I can't do that though. You would think, but no. That sentence didn't make any sense. I don't care. Cyrus was he's Cicero's the older brother, right? I always forget. I know they explained it. So he's supposed to be from Ruin. Is it Ruin? Or is Runic still just Runic? I forget. I think it's Ruin. Yeah, Ruin. Okay. I didn't know that. Is he shooting at him? Oh. Wait, that's how we're gonna end this? With a story about stealing his shit? And then it was basically catnip for whatever was in whatever he was bringing with him from Ruin? Okay, that's interesting. All right. Okay, whatever. I just didn't want to read it. It was really long. I'm okay with reading some things, but not something that long. Oh my goodness. The Dactites. The Dactites are a relatively new faction of the Masquerades. I never heard of them before my return to Ombre, and admittedly am uncomfortable with this lack of knowledge. Hopefully, the investigation will shed more light on the faction, though at the same time, I'm hopeful that we do not have to interact too intimately with them. Yeah. Famous last words. La la. I suppose it's finally time in the shadows of Umbra coalesced into an entity. The other countries all have had masteries of secrets for a while now, some more publicly known than others. Tessera has the Rayasham. Ruin has the Zaraya family. Elysia has its Mindweaver, and now Umbra has the Bloodless. Of course, none of the true identities of the other countries' masters of secrets, save Ruins, a public piece of knowledge. As an As an inspector, however, I have access to these resources slightly more readily than most. All I can say is that it is a pity this bloodless hadn't made an appearance some years earlier. I imagine a substantial number of my cases would have been made much simpler had this reportedly well-informed character much simpler had I this reportedly well-informed character to turn to. Okay, there we go. I was like, why is there a second 2? Which I first read as 10, of course, because font! I'm curious how deeply involved in the investigation he is going to be, and wary of the price he's planning on exacting for his assistance. Okay, anything else? Wrong button. Wait, it was the next day? Oh yeah, because that's what's-her-face said. By what's-her-face, I mean, not you. You. Tiziana. Oh, there was the case notes. Fourth Sindera, 407 IL. I never enjoyed writing in loose sheets. Leather-bound journals have always been my preferred medium of note-taking, and if I'm going to commit to this investigation, then this is where my thoughts will go. A brief summary of the investigation thus far. Razitof has been captured by mask runners while researching the origins of Mascherines and how they were created. His investigations led him in search of 3 artifacts responsible for the creation of Mascherines called the Heart, the Seed, and the Knife. Collectively, they were known as the Treor. In the Cleaver, we learned that he knew where to find these artifacts, but our leads ended there. There are a few other loose ends that need to be wrapped up as well. There was a stone found in Razitof's office in the White Spire, and we have yet to understand its purpose or function. Also, Razitof has been looking into the creation of Fae. He'd stored a handful of them in glass jars in his office. But what that has to do with anything is unclear. Our next major step in the investigation is finding a figure called the Herald, leader of the Dactites, the group of mask runners that have taken Razitof. And to do that, we are going to go on an information broker called the Bloodless. Well, I guess they don't know about the lady, so. I mentioned that earlier, like, well, technically it's a lady, but I guess I don't know. Hopefully, he can tell us directly of the Herald and where to find him, but in the case that he cannot, he should at least be able to lead us to the Sendra, leader of the Melacarte, the remnants of the Mask Runner faction that my brother led. I am hoping that she, as a mask runner herself, will be able to tell us more if need be. My discomfort with the mask runners has not gone away in the least, but I cannot let that stand in my way of my duty. True.
Where did you go?
I've seen how he is. He's a good man, Elena.
Even good men have standards.
I hope you're not talking about me.
Sir!
Nah.
Sir,
Nah.
we were just...
Nothing.
You were just nothing? Well, if that's really the case...
We'd like to practice the Vicifer, sir.
Brother!
Both of you?
I apologize, sir. My brother...
Let him speak.
Yes, the both of us, sir. Meliari for myself and Messaniari for my sister.
Well, If you want to practice the Visiva, you're going to need a piece of equipment from a Masquerada, aren't you?
Yes, sir, but we understand if you don't want to do this. After all, we have nothing to our name and no credentials and...
Will this do?
Sir...
That's not an answer.
It would do fantastically, sir. There's enough space for the inscriptions involved in Meliare.
And the blade is more than enough to paint on. Are you sure, sir?
Well, the worst that could happen is I get an ugly blade back, isn't it?
All right, just a minute, sir. We'll do some basic forms.
Okay, so they're the ones that will be painting, and this is where they're going to paint. Finally!
Now, the moment of truth. The energies do flow smoother.
It worked, brother!
They flow well
I
within
don't
this
believe
blade.
it. Thank you, sir.
Well, if there's anything more I can do...
Sigils, sir. Anything that has complicated Dementicate symbols. I'd like to try my hand at the more complex workings.
I'll keep an eye out. And you, Elena?
If you could find plants of the more exotic variety, I could use their dyes. A larger palette drastically alters the effects of Messeniare.
I'll bring back anything I can find. Now, hold on. Since you're both trained in the Visiva, you think you could handle this?
We're all Mascherines.
I
Yes!
don't intend on getting bogged down with the documentation if I have to go through the registry's
Oh
artisans. to get
shoot!
these
What
touched up.
what is it
Sir,
from?
this is basic
Dragon
work.
Aged
We can
1
get
and
these up to
2?
scratch in no time.
Ah,
Good.
enchantment.
Until then, however, we have
enchantment,
business to attend.
enchantment. There we go.
Where, sir?
Sorry.
An establishment called the Bleeding Beetle. You know of it?
It's one of our favorite haunts, sir.
Excellent. Off we go then.
Ah! Alright, the Visiva. Miliare and Mercenary, as I totally butchered them. The Visiva revolve around aesthetically enhancing the equipment of Masquerada, from the wardrobe to the weapons to Mascherines even, in order to bolster their abilities. That is a comma. Oh my gosh, the commas and periods! These augmentations, I don't know how I didn't notice it the first day I was playing this. These augmentations take the forms of engravings and meliara and painted symbols and mercenary, and both assist the Masquerada who wears the equipment to better channel their powers. The Visiva are unique among the Medea, for the engravings needn't necessarily be performed by a person in possession of Masquerine. Yes, a Masquerine is needed in order to benefit from the augmentations, but the actual process of the application of such enhancements can be done by even Contadani, however rare that might be, except not in this case. Gameplay. Ah, shit. Haven't found that yet? Shocking. Speaking to the twins outside the Ostigary will allow you to equip the various inks and engravings that you find during your travels around the city. Did I find any inks and engravings? I don't remember. I don't know. Okay. In order to harness the effects of either an ink or an engraving, one must be paired with the other. The chosen engraving increases the character's base damage by a specific percentage, while at the same time determining the probability that an auto attack will trigger the effects of the chosen ink. Oh. Gotcha. Oh, I do. Jigga hoo-ha. So I'm guessing the fifth person's a guy based on the portrait, because it looks like he has a beard. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Restore 2% mask charge. Result. Restores 2% mask plus 25% mask damage. 20% proc chance. Proc? What? What's proc? I don't know. I don't know if I should save that. Should I? Sure. I made it. Can I equip that on everyone? Sure. Like, how do you equip that? Oh, we can't do that? Man, I thought we can do it. Damn it. Well, how do you equip that? How do you fucking equip it? Well, that's lovely. I don't know how to use that. Okay, maybe it just automatically... Stop it! Maybe it just automatically goes on. I don't really know.
Inspetore, if you don't mind me asking, you're awfully familiar with the owner of the tavern.
He was a close friend of my family's when I was younger. Before I joined the portieri, he shared his purse with us. Helped us get through rough times.
That's sweet.
And naive. Most Contadani can't even fend for themselves. What sense is there in sharing?
What sense is there in not keeping everything to yourself? What's the use?
Ah, the stone-cold girl finally shows a sliver of a heart.
It just doesn't make sense.
Classes and elitist thoughts going through people's minds. Alright. The Bleeding Beetle. This isn't an inn or tavern. This is the whole area.
The street to get you to the Bleeding Beetle's down this way, sir. Too small for the coach.
We'll be waiting for you here.
Really?
We are done.
I feel like we're gonna go into combat. I'm probably gonna have to turn that fan on even though it's irritating my eyes. Taverns such as the Bleeding Beetle are not uncommon in Umbra. These are found closer to the docks than they are to the shadows under the mountain, and our favorite haunts of Contadani and those simply visiting from the other nations. Okay, Umbra is the whole area, Dark. That's the nation. Okay. No, because that's part of the name of the city. Maybe it's both. I don't know. Because it's Citte della Ombre, right? Or something like that. The lack of masquerada that come by is easily explained. Taverns such as this are for the poor and the rowdy, and few masquerada would deign to associate themselves too closely with such common folk. The common folk, ew, get your germs away from us, yeah. The despondency of life in the streets, the life of the Contadani, is a powerful force. It whittles away hopes and dreams. It saps energies and buries lusts for life. I have seen it in action all too well and have had enough personal experience with this dread force to be familiar with it. My family used to live on the verge between life and this state of existence. Death is not a good word to describe it, for we still breathed and moved and ate and slept. Too many ands. But there was a point when we had almost stopped dreaming, almost stopped hoping, almost turned into one of the countless others who walked around, their shoes filled with invisible lead, their shoulders supporting unseen weights. Weights, Maggio. Also, I was going to say, if there was going to be another almost. Their eyes, and that was where you could always see it, their eyes were empty shells, carapaces, carcasses left in the wake of this terrible force. It happened so often, I had grown numb to it, and then these two came along. Lodged somewhere deep behind their brown irises was a glimmer, and nothing more. lest it seemed dangerously obvious, of a dream. As I watched them more carefully, I realized the spark showed itself in other facets of the twins as well, in their banter, in the corners of their mouths, in the way they spoke of the future. Something had shielded this treasure that so many others had lost, and though I might not readily admit it, I find myself somewhat envious of them. Perhaps naivete has been their shield. They are still young, and perhaps there will come a time when their eyes will no longer smile the way they do now. With all this said, however, after they asked me to allow them to practice the vis-a-vis, vice versa, vis-a-vis, that's a different word altogether. Okay. The vis-a-vis, how could I say no? Certainly, there's the obvious reason. I now have an, Erigiani and a Fabra at my disposal, but it's much more than that, and I don't remember what those two words mean. And even as I write this, I chide myself for being such a sentimentalist, a pair of young twins out to chase their dreams. Any other man would now, with more steeled a heart than me, would spare them the pain that awaits them in the future. Tell them that they stand no chance earning a living. After all, they aren't even Masquerada. How would they test the efficacy of their creations? Wait. Hold on. Where was the other bracket? That wasn't a bracket. Those were two F's. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. My eyes. But what can a man do if his heart cries out at such a sight? One only need look at the light in their eyes to understand why it's moved me such. Perhaps a selfish part of me wants to see them happy so that I might vicariously live through their joy. Perhaps another part of me knows that their smiles will not last, and so urges me to treasure them while I can. Whatever the case, spending too much time on this is unwise. I will let them do as they please while we can afford it. But you moved up to the predators, the predatory or whatever the fuck they were called. What were they called? Whatever. The P words of the Masquerada. That's basically the same thing that they're trying to do, move up from the Contadani to the Masquerada ranks. You should know about this. Are you so jaded that you forgot? Maybe. So I assume it's this way since the cart went that way. But kitties! We're going to look over here. Yeah, nope, can't. Okay. I guess it's a little bit thinner. I mean, there's also people.
Ahead.
Are you sure? Oh, cutscene.
That's him. The one with the flute.
He's good?
Among the city's best. We should get closer.
He's a mummer. Or we search around. Aha! Get out of my way. Do 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 do. Kitties everywhere.
By the ages.
What do you see?
There, over by the side. That man with the guards. That's Isander Urshel. He's the leader of the Salt Breeders, one of the smaller Masquerade factions that existed before the war. Apparently, they're still around.
I've heard of them. Getting Contadani addicted to stone salt, then charging exorbitantly. They've practically robbed hundreds of families of their stability.
And nothing's been done about it.
Well, of course
And
not.
nothing will be done. Not today, at least. Remember who we're here for.
Thank you, thank you.
He's getting away.
Marshal, don't do anything.
You, stay where you are.
What are you doing?
God damn it.
Protect me.
Oh, great.
Goddamn frickin' paladin.
Behind you.
I swear to goodness, you paladin, you! Go, squirrel, go!
What in all the legacies do you think you're doing?
That man is Izander.
I know who he is, damn it! He has a contract on his head, for blood's sake!
You mean that...
Forget it! I see you're with Amadeus. You're here for the Bloodless?
Yes.
Then you will listen to me. Izander is a large man, with a love for large spaces. He will not take any of the alleyways, and neither will you.
What do you mean by...
You will follow him, chase him, and he will send his guards to stop you. Be a dear and take care of them for me.
What do you do?
Slip through the shadows. If you do your job right and keep him running down the wide street, I'll be able to take care of him once he's alone. I repeat, alone. That means...
No guards, we get it.
Good. Then go before you lose him.
One of the many factions of the Mask Runners, the Salt... I was gonna say brothers. I thought they said brothers! I legitimately thought, if it was paid, it was breathers. The Salt Breathers are led by Izander they just said his fucking name. Izander Urshel, a man who has thrived off the misfortunes of others. Understanding how difficult the life of a Contadani in this world is, Izander saw the potential profit he could weave out of business distributing stone salt. It's so messed up. He's a drug dealer, I mean, obviously. He began small, distributing the drug to Contadani under the pretext that it was medication. Okay, that's even worse. Needless to say, they developed an addiction to it and came back to him for more and more, fueling his dark empire. I mean, my window and the window to the outdoor is open, so thought I heard a honking, which I thought was kind of weird. I was thinking it was a bird honk, but it might be a car honk. I don't really know. Lost my place, just like what happens when I get distracted in class. Okay, the Salt Brothers, I'm gonna keep saying brothers, not breathers. The Salt Breathers had joined my brother in the War of Bearings, but it seems they weathered the storm that struck in the wake of his death and are back in business. Not every life in the gutters is one of empty pockets and hollow stomachs. Even within the depraved streets of Umbra, there exists hierarchy, and if one understands the machinations, machinations of the world between the shadows, rising through its ranks is not an impossible task. A requirement for such a flourishing, unsurprisingly, is a cultivated alienation from others of your social station. You cannot feel for their suffering. You must view them as resources to be used, assets to be abused, and certainly never as people. If one manages such a feat and somehow furnishes one's heart with calluses, I was thinking callousness. The upward road is that much easier. Wasn't that everyone in the Masquerada? So I'm very confused. I know. It's kind of like an oxymoron, but yeah. But such a strategy comes at a cost. Distancing oneself from one's humanity allows others to treat one in the same manner with far less weight on their hearts. In the more extreme cases, such as that of Isander's, death can be dealt with a little remorse. It is an ultimately dangerous path to tread, and one that I, despite having been tempted many a time before, have managed to stay away from. Isn't there someone else? Like the purple dude? No. Okay, so we're gonna go this way. Running after Isander, we're gonna kill a dude. Running after Isander, gonna kill a dude. That's my ditty, folks. Canal.
Stop! There's 3 of them. We can take them on. Protect me!
Come on, me!
Go! Tornado! Oh, she died over here. Oh, they're both gone. Lovely.
That is a lesson I won't forget. You've got my thanks.
Go, squirrel, go!
Don't let him get away!
Really? I was right there.
Stop! I can't run. We have to fight!
Oh, gosh darn it.
Here they come!
It's a gauntlet! I call upon the squirrel. Go! Oops. And then... Oh.
Just scratch. Ages too close.
Oh, golly. You stop attacking me with your stupid annoyance. Go, squirrel, go! Breathe it in, whatever that trophy means.
There, ahead.
Jesus.
Going somewhere? Well, Isander. You've been a tough rat to catch. I did nothing wrong. Oh, how entertaining the words of the ignorant can sometimes be. You consider ruining the lives of hundreds of Contadani nothing wrong.
They came to me for the salt. They wanted it. I never forced it on them.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
No. You simply lied to them. Told them it was medication. And then you watched their lives fall apart in front of you as you grew fat upon their innocence.
I won't do it again. You
Oh,
have
bullshit.
my word. I'll give them back the money, I swear.
A kind offer. How unlike you, Isander.
People change.
Yeah.
Go then. The Laborus will keep its ear out for you. If we hear that you have not been true to your word.
Hunt me again, I'll say.
A fair deal. Off you go then. Now, time for the real show.
Think you can threaten me?
Dumbass.
So much cleaner for the heart when they fall upon their own blade, wouldn't you say?
You knew he was going to try that.
Of course I did. Stick around in my vein of work long enough, and you learn that people like that never change. But the lot of you clearly haven't been in this vein for very long.
Silence, bloodling.
And you are in a position to say such a thing. You who ruined the entire plan.
As if you even had a plan. You're nothing but...
Izander Urshel is a man of habit and a man of fine hearing. After every strong performance he witnesses, he retreats to his abode in the dim way, intent on scribing out the music. This is the only time you will ever catch him without his guards, the time when his neck is most ripe for the cutting. So yes, O Golden One, I had a plan. But come, enough talk of the dead. You've helped me clear a contract. I suppose introductions are at least necessary? My name is Vasco Tessitore, bloodling of the Laboris Salis.
And I?
Inspectore Cicero Gavar of the Registry. Amadea Invidius, initiate of the Dieci
Bloodless is a bounty hunter.
And lumbering cow, mistake of the Luca Infinita.
How dare you!
Hold, Marshal. Come with a purpose.
That's funny.
Don't forget that. We need to speak with the Bloodless.
I'd guessed as much when I saw Amadea with you. Though I am curious to ask, such strange company you're keeping, my dear.
Well, the winds of change are blowing strong.
And the paths of the supple carried along. I see. Well...
Oh, don't stop there.
I'm sorry?
Certainly you'll not quote one half of the song without the other. The branches of death lull to its beat,
and in their wake do the sleepers weep. Oh, truly, what a choice of companion, Amadea.
You know the song?
My brother taught it to me, yes. It seems you've forgotten who I am.
I'm afraid I had.
Excuse me, what is going on?
Nothing, Marshal. Just exchanging words about an old ditty. But enough of that.
That
I'm sure
Mascherines
we'll
know.
have more time to talk later, yes?
Of course.
We'll head back to the Estiguary. We can all speak a little bit more then.
Yeah, wasn't she the one who was with Lysandra?
A question, Bloodling, before we talk business.
Aye, sir?
You sing songs and tell tales of the lives of others, yes?
That I do. I also eat and drink and sometimes sleep.
Have you ever heard of a young boy who went by the name of Javs before? His mother had been a dirge in the Laboris as well. Talia Victus.
Not names that chime in my memory, no. Why?
It sounds strange, but you remind me a little of him.
He must be quite the fetching man.
Oh, if you were alive, perhaps.
Oh. I'm sorry to hear that.
It has been enough years for that wound to close. Forget I ever brought it up.
Jobs, who was that? Did they show that in the prologue? I forget what it was.
My, what a beauty. Already you're taking me to the good places in Spatore.
Marshal, if you watch him, I don't want him breaking.
Oh, I love the sexual innuendos
that
and tension.
include
It
his
makes
face?
me so giddy. Oh.
Why didn't you tell me earlier?
What did you expect me to say? Hello, I was a mask runner. I hope you don't mind.
When you use mask runner code phrases in front of me, that's basically what you're saying anyway. Why did you suggest the Bloodless? Surely you know where Lysandra is.
It's been years since I left the Malacate. He's the best lead we have.
Yeah, that
Why
was
did you
her
leave?
jaw.
Reasons.
All right, I won't pry.
What?
Most of the time when people ask why I left the city, I usually feel like introducing them to my fist, so... Yes, I understand if you don't want to talk about it. Besides, it's not why you're here anyway.
You're right. It's not.
God damn
We'll
it,
continue this
Calden.
another time.
Calden. Calden's just gonna try to beat the snot out of the guy.
Enough, Mariner.
What's going on?
Ah, Inspectore. Perhaps you can be of assistance in this matter.
Why did you bring him back here?
We are to speak to him in the privacy of our lodging. I see no issue with that.
Honestly, neither do I.
Do not speak to me of honesty. You work for the Bloodless. You don't even understand the word.
Calden, what is wrong with you?
With me, This man is a tool the Bloodless has used to spread his tides of corruption through the city. Why do you bring him into this house?
To get your brother back. Now sit. We are having civil conversation.
I'm exciting, I know.
Now is not the time for glibness.
Just sits over there.
All right. The Bloodless has numerous contracts.
But before,
with very
damn it!
difficulty.
I was going to
It is my
read
task to judge which
codices.
contract is worthy of the price you demand.
2 questions are all we wish to ask.
Ask away.
I do not believe you should be privy to these questions.
Agreed. Your tongue is far too loose to trust.
Ha! Understand this, if nothing else. I have not survived as an agent of the Bloodless by dancing through the streets, tongue wagging. If this discussion is to progress any further, you must first pay me with trust.
The first step into the mire.
Silence, Mariner! You are seated in the quiet chair. You are not allowed to speak unless you come and sit at the speaking table. Rules of civilized conversation. So, what shall it be then, Inspectore?
We wish to ask him the following questions.
Cicero!
Chair!
The mask runners have a figure in their ranks they call the Herald. Where can we find him?
All right. And?
Where can we find Lysandra Rorik?
For those 2 questions, I have a contract in mind. Perhaps the Mariner would like to be here to hear it in its entirety?
I can hear you fine from here.
Fine. It is a matron.
What?
I can hear you fine from here.
Explain yourself.
Did someone say something?
The fact that he actually listens to this guy,
Explain.
it's shocking, even though he doesn't say it.
The contract has been placed on the Matron of the Withering Mast.
Matron Beneva?
The Withering Mast is a ward of the Sorelle known for taking in single mothers with little hope left in the world.
And in doing so, has only helped dozens of mothers and their families.
No. She has abused the women. Plunged them into a life of prostitution. Their children are not spared that fate.
Wow.
There are some in this city that would pay heavy crescents for a child.
Liar.
You do well to understand how seriously the Laboris take their contracts, Mariner. If the intelligence says that she is guilty, be assured that you will find no evidence otherwise.
And if we fulfill this contract, the Bloodless will meet us?
The Bloodless will give you your answers. Yes.
She is a matron of the Sorelle, Cicero. A matron of my guild. I need to see for myself if this is true. I'm going.
No. You have a vested interest in this, Mariner.
But I...
And seeing another Sorelle asking about her ward, it'll raise flags, don't you think?
Oh, you're right. I'll take along 2 of the others. Any more and it'll be suspicious.
God damn, I gotta choose.
We'll await your decision downstairs then.
Well, I haven't fought with Vasker. What's his face? Bloodling.
Quite a temper back there.
The man brings dark tides, and I do not like it.
What do you have against him?
Some burdens are better borne on the shoulders of many. Mine are not such burdens. But I appreciate the thought.
Goddamn, just
Razitof is somewhere out
just
there.
kiss already.
I need your mind on this. Fully.
I want to say another word, but I'm not going to say
I
the
can
word.
see dark clouds in your eyes. You are drifting from this investigation. I don't want that.
Wonder if there's pictures of them
Whatever
on Rule
these
34.
burdens of yours are.
Dark!
If you ever
Wait,
think
what?
sharing
I'm sorry, I
them
didn't
will
say
help,
anything.
The others are waiting for you.
Just remember my offer.
Oh, it did end on that. Still, he is unwilling to divulge this secret of his. Well, you're not really to diverging a whole lot of shit about your past, so shut the fuck up, dude. I have traveled long enough with him that I've come to trust his intentions. Whatever he's keeping isn't likely to harm me, that much I am certain. I remain uncomfortable with the idea that I haven't the full picture, however. Yeah, because you're an inspectori. Vasco Tessitore. Was only 6 notes for him? Oh. The Dirge is quite the character. Rarely in my life have I come across anyone that manages to be at one so flippant and yet so deliberate, so full of life but yet so unhesitant to deal death. Perhaps it is a consequence of working for the bloodless, but I would not be surprised if his chameleonic personality is what has allowed him to thrive in this world of masks. Well, it's probably it. I find that his dancing along the spectrum of personalities, however, has landed him on bad terms with half of those I work with. The Mariner seems to hold something against him, and the Marshal, with her seriousness, might just be the antithesis of the man and his glibness. If I intend to keep... If I intend on keeping him around, and I might, for his cheer, if not his usefulness, I'm going to need some way to resolve these budding conflicts. On another note, and I feel like a fool bringing this up, I can't help but be reminded of an old friend of mine every time I look at him. It's more than their runic ethnicity. There's something about the way he carries himself, that F makes it look like it's a bracket. Well, square bracket. British English, that would be, I believe that's either a bracket or parentheses. No, they don't say parentheses, they say brackets. Don't they say like brackets and double brackets? They say something else for them. But anyway, it reminds me of square brackets. I don't know why, the F just throws me off. Carries himself that reminds me of Jobs. Perhaps it is the way they are so quick to smile, but I know it is foolish. Jobs is dead, and this is my mind playing tricks on me. I cannot afford to be distracted by their resemblance. We have work to do, even if Jobs was my first lover. No, he was a child. Dark. Okay, anyway. Wasn't there something with... There isn't! There's not some update like, oh my gosh, she was a mask winner, or is a mask winner? I was. No. Ahoy! Because what's-his-name's in the party, so I gotta put shit on him. Let's see, you have 1 point. You have 2 points. You've got 2 points. You've got 2 points. You've got 29. Oh no. 15? Didn't we have more than 15? Okay. Dirge increases focus recovery by 3%, or 3% per second. Whenever the caster moves, they regenerate 3% mass charge per second. Okay, we're gonna do all of this. Reduces all skill cooldown by 5%. Reduces threat generated from the caster's attacks by 10%. I almost want to do mine, but we're gonna do soul. Dirge plus, mine plus. Had I known that was going to be there. Increases damage reduction by 18%. Increases all damage by 13%. Alright, what are these? Wind burst. Vasco launches a powerful shot that deals 15 base damage. Enemy activates elemental tags. Bellow drops a blast of air of the target location, dealing 25 base damage. And what's the other one? Requiem. Vasco channels spirits at the target location, deals 8%. Okay. Reduces enemies' attack speed by 25%. Have their skill cooldowns increased by 0.5% per second. Skill cooldowns of all allies inside Requiem get reduced. No, I want that on the enemy. Enemies dealt damage this way attack 25% slower. What the fudge? Oh, okay, gotcha. Increases blast damage by 5% in radius by 2 meters. No, let's do more debilitating bullcrap. Whenever an elemental tag is activated, enemies within 6 meters become silenced. Oscar recovers 15% of his. I want debilitating stats. Debilitating stats. Debilitating stats. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Debilitating stats. Let's do that. Okay. I gotta figure out who's gonna go with me.
Cicero! Ven was telling me we had a special guest.
Livia, I missed you last night.
I was out with Damien. We had some errands to run. Shopping for Seho's sojourn. It's tomorrow, after all.
Damien?
Oh, Cicero. It's been that long, hasn't it?
I'm afraid I'm missing something.
They have a child.
Cicero, meet Damien Marimbus, our son.
Pa, is this?
That's him, all right.
Wow.
It's the legend!
Pleasure, sir. A real pleasure.
What awful stories has your father told you about me?
Oh, awful? You're kidding, sir. Nothing short of amazing they are.
Oh, Ven.
I speak the truth. What can I say?
I'm sorry for taking your time, Cicero. You're busy, I'm sure. And we have preparations to make for the festival, but it was nice seeing you again.
Who thinks the festival's going to be part of the
Livia.
game?
You won't be going off from here anytime soon, will you?
No, we'll be seeing you around, Cicero. Don't worry.
Excellent. Then until
I'm
next
not mad that my husband is not charging you anything at all. Oh, no, wait, we're paying him something, even though they haven't explained it. The Marimbus family. I was wondering about the Marimbus, and yeah, I guess they're their own thing. But yeah, I thought it was like, this is some kind of mask runner group. Yeah. What do you mean? A child. It has been that long, hasn't it? Ages. How much time has slipped through my fingers since I'd earned my cape? It seems just like a year ago that Ven and Livia were getting married, and now they have a son? Not a young one at that. Damien's at least out of his first decade, and this is the first time I've heard of him. That's the thing, like, oh, frickin' life. So, yeah, like, going back home and visiting at times, like the first time I went back home, I met my cousin's son, and he was like, how old was he? I've got two pictures that tell the difference of how much he grew. It was like, he was maybe 8 or 9. And then the next time I came was because it was after COVID. So he was a middle school student going into high school. And I mean, now he's in high school. I think he might be in his second year. Well, no, yeah, he can drive now. So it's like, what the heck? And then like one of my friends in the Twin Cities area, her and her husband had a son, and then the next time after coming back, they at some point had a daughter, and so son was 2 when I first met him, and then he's now 6 and their daughter's 2, and it's like, wow. And how everyone is, especially like after COVID like put a pause. I mean, like probably for like everything for everyone, but feels like it's been a pause, but it's not, because time still marches on regardless. And yeah, just being here in Korea, and it won't be a full 14 years, but it'll be close to 14 when I leave. Because I came October 14th. So it'll be almost 14 years. It would be like a few months short of 14 years when I leave in August. So yeah, it's crazy just reading this and just thinking about that. Okay, hey. Time. All right. But dang, a decade since he got the cape of Inspectore. I know Ven would chide me for feeling this way, but seeing his son has inspired me a certain in me a certain guilt. How did I let him slip from my life so easily? Certainly none of it is his fault. I had a life and the lion to take care of. Is that the main leader dude? The whatever, the Vasserone or whatever? Is that what the lion means? Or is that the inspectory's emblem? I don't remember what lion means. What's more, how was he to find me? Ask a portiere? He'd be lucky to get away from them with his purse intact. Wait, what? Why would the portiere? Okay. The onus was on me to have maintained contact, but I didn't. I don't. It's sad. I don't, I have people that I still chat with and I meet, connected through Facebook or through email, whatever. And I always feel guilty, but at the same time, a lot of them don't contact me either. But I always feel like when it comes, this is me. When it comes to friends, I'm still your friend regardless of the distance or how long we met. That's how I feel. So it should be fine, but that's just me. I know other people would feel differently. Same as like some people are like, oh, family or friends or whatever. I'm thinking, but family's family. And it's like, I don't know what to feel. I mean, they're not friends because family is a relationship. It's a type of relationship. So I feel awkward when people talk like that about family because I don't see family like that. But yeah. I don't know where I'm going with that. I'm just rambling because I'm tired and I'm seeing things about life in here. But I didn't. The fact that Vin doesn't even seem to mind reminds me that he's changed little. He's glad enough for the fact that we've met again and seems to have spent none of his heart on bitter thoughts. Whatever the case, I am with him now, and perhaps I can make up for lost time. He's married, though, sir, with a son, with a child. Anyway, Dark, what are you talking about? Nothing. All right, let's talk about the wife. Livia Mirimbus is a shining star in the City of Shadows, and I am doubtful I will ever run into someone with as genuine a heart as she. So are these people... Okay, I don't know if all of them are for Ruin, but obviously, not Damien. Levanthos is Ruin, but, Runic, but are they... Contadani. What is their status and everything? Like if you're a mercantile, I don't know if it's mercantile class, shopkeep, artisan class, whatever. What are you fit under? You're not a Masquerada. You're not the Kandari, whatever, the lower class. Where do they fit in? They don't explain that in this, and it bothers me. Like, we know the nobility are Masquerada. Are they, I guess, are the shopkeepers and everything, are they like the lower tier Masquerada? Maybe that's where they fall under. They're like the middle class. They're the lower rung of Masquerada. That's middle class. And then the echelons of Masquerada are the upper class, the aristocrats, and then the poor people are the C word. The other things. But I can't remember all the terms. I'm sorry. It's too difficult. I need to have a spreadsheet. I need an instruction manual that has the definitions in the back. That's what I need. Unfortunately, there's no strong wiki with all those definitions. I can't print it out and have it in front of me. I looked. I'm shocked there's not a Wikipedia page for this game. But anyway, there isn't actually, folks. That's the first thing I tried looking for online to copy paste certain information. Mainly so I can have spelling correctly when I type. I think I gotta go back to maybe the first or the second video, because I know I didn't spell inspectori correctly, but maybe I did. I'm usually tired when I make the edits for these videos. I'm either tired because I'm like eating, or watching YouTube videos and eating, or working on something, or it's at my job before I go, or in my office before I go teach. So weird times. But anyway. City of Shadows, wow. Her demeanor might perhaps make more sense given that she hadn't been born in Umbra, having spent the first decade of her life in ruin. Okay, so she's runic also. So their son is full runic. In ruin, Livia was brought up steeped in that culture and had to learn to adjust to the ways of Umbra when she immigrated here. Well, so did frickin' Levanthos. Anyway. From the accounts that she's told me, that process was difficult, not least because she had to begin worrying about guarding herself against Masquerada. I'm so confused. I guess the mask runners are Masquerada too. I'm so confused about how Masquerada works. Or the Masqueradas work. I don't know, they can pluralize that. I don't think so. Her accent was heavy back then, and she knew she'd make an easy target if people found out she wasn't native. And so every day, Livia would go to a sorrel ward known as the Coral Bow, a ward famous for sorrel schools, and would eavesdrop on the matrons and sisters teaching children to read and write. It wasn't long before she spoke Ombric like a native. If only there was a way to do that with Korean. I'd be such a native Korean speaker, and no one could guess where my where my dialect is from. Well, no, I guess it's accent. It's still accent. Dialect is words, right? I need to look that up. But yeah, or region. I guess region is the ultimate thing, because there is regionalism in Korea. Like, people have certain opinions of you if you're not from, like, for example, people in this region that I live in the Jeollanam-do region, and that includes Gwangyarchi, because it's in Jeollanam-do. Like, if you have an accent from Busan or wherever, the east or whatever the region where Busan's located, you get flagged heavily, and it's just ridiculous. I would think it would be more ridiculous for Daegu, because Daegu is the capital for the Conservative Party, was this area is for the the more liberal party. I can't say Democrat because first, that's USA, but second, unlike USA, thank the heavens they don't do it. Korea's parties like to change their names like every few years. They're the same fucking parties. Don't change your name. It doesn't matter. You're the same goddamn freaking parties. You just make it more difficult for foreigners, and probably for natives, to memorize who the fuck you are. Especially calling it a different name in English and the Korean, because I think they're different names too. They're not the same. And the one group that gets made fun of a lot is Jeju, oddly enough, because they have a certain accent. Well, they have their own dialect. There we go. It is dialect, but yeah. Which I don't know if I've heard it. I must have heard it, but I can't really tell the differences. It's hard for me to tell. I'm like, I know there is. I think it's just something when you're more native to a language you can tell, or if you're well versed in it, probably can tell too. I don't really know. What about your 13/14 years almost being in this country? You've talked about Dark? Yeah, shush. I tried to learn Korean. I swear I've tried. You know, especially when I mail back most of the books that I that I have for Korean. Am I going to continue learning? Who knows? Find a Korean boyfriend, maybe. Anyway, I read that. Okay. Is there anyone else? Damn it, there's lore. It's the last spot! Oh. Focus arcs, flanking, and backstabbing. All characters with focused shields are defended by the shields from the front. These shields, however, are not encapsulating. Though, why do we have to have such names? Though Pavashirs have the broadest focused shields, followed by dirges, and then Sicarios. Is this Sicarios or Sticario? Nope, Sicarios. None of these shields protect the characters from the back. Attacking areas uncovered by a focus shield results in flanking. Damage done while flanking is directly applied to the target's health instead of focus. Wait, I've been attacking someone's focus instead of health from the front? I mean, I always go from the back because, well, if you're Sicario, you attack faster. But that's just in general a thing you should do in any RPG. And in real life, folks. Well, I don't know. I don't get into fights. But usually the back is not protected. That's not always true, though. But usually it isn't. But yeah, you just do that in RPGs because ideally that will be better damage. But I didn't know it did a different thing. In this manner, it is fully possible to defeat an enemy while their focus shields are at full capacity. One need only be fastidious about battle positioning in order to achieve such a feat. Sicarios, however, take flanking to another level. When Sicarios flank, not only do their attacks ignore the focus shield of their target, the Sicarios' basic attack does twice as much damage as compared... Yeah, that's why I do that when I'm Sicario. Compared to if they fought the enemy head-on, making the Sicario a deadly force in battle if positioned well. Yeah, I know. That's what I've been doing. I can talk to everyone? Alright.
So, found anything?
I wasn't able to do very much without the proper tools. Levia's got them from the market, though, so I'll be able to conduct further tests now, but nothing so far.
Well, if you do find anything, let me know, alright?
Of course.
This is story time. I'm not going to read that out loud. Sorry, just the last sentence there. Oh, it's still story. Jeez, this is very long. Okay, is Cicero the younger one? I'm really confused. This sounds like a younger brother, but it could be older. I don't know. I got confused. Ugh. I don't think that's how that works, sir. That's not how a job works. Well, ideally. There's I know I'm reading it, so hopefully you got to the point. There's in the book, the last unit finally, and I chose poorly in what unit to choose as the last unit, to be quite honest, especially when reviewing final term information with classes before the last few minutes talking about the last unit, which is also the last unit in the textbook, by the by. But there's a sentence in there that says, because it's reviewing also conditionals, zero conditional, I think. If you, what is it? It has to do about a job. If you have a job, and then it's like the answer's supposed to be like, if you have a job, you will earn money. But there's also a line that says if you will get money, but that's for a different answer. Although a lot of these things you could have more than one answer, but the best answer is earn money, and that's just what it reminds me of. Dark stories, folks. Dark stories. Let's see. Oh, you would have been finished reading this on YouTube, but not me. And I got lost. Okay, it was the start of this. What? I can't... I'm not forced to be an indentured servant? Wait, what? Ah, scheisse! God damn it. Why is this so long? That's the other question. Was I towards the end of this? Damn it, I was. So it was 10. Which, by the by... Oh, no, that is 2. Okay. Damn it. I knew it. I misread that. Also, that means... Levanthos is quite a bit older than Cicero. I thought they were, like, the same age. A partially honest living. Oh, gosh. So should I have the 2 mask runners? Honestly, I don't think I should have her in my party with me. Because honestly, she's gonna fuck things up.
Ombrian.
Not now.
I wasn't going to talk about that. I was going to ask about how you knew the bloodling.
Oh, I guess we haven't decided yet.
You met him as a mask runner?
I thought you said you weren't going to talk about it.
I just need to know if we can trust him.
We can.
All right. If you say so.
Yeah, this is just talking points. All right.
So, how is Fabio taking the news?
He doesn't plan to stand in your way, if that's what you mean. He's as interested in the nature of them as we are.
Do you think you'll say the same once we find out what they actually do?
You ask when you already know the answer.
Right. I was just hoping, I suppose.
Look forward, Inspectore. We have work to do.
Settled in already, I see.
It's quite a lovely place you have, really. And quite the motley crew as well.
Don't I know it?
It's not every day you see drops of colors in such close proximity. Golds and blues and browns. Makes me wonder, though, what strange reasons glue this lot together?
Perhaps if you do your job, you might find out.
Yes, of course. We'd best get on with it then, no?
I was like, what more information could you glean from... You don't. Okay, that's what I was wondering. I'm like, how could you glean anything from him? Why am I on other? Stupid. There could have been no clearer explanation. The woman was a mask runner. What? That explained her hesitation at joining the investigation, knowing my place in the world of the mask runners, but it might also shed some light on why she did join us. Her story with the mask runners might have yet to come to an end. Perhaps there is a part of her that seeks a closure of some sort. Strangely, this is not an idea that I am uncomfortable with. Indeed, the fact that she is a mask runner means something to me. That she is a part of my brother's legacy, perhaps. I'm unsure that effect this has on me exactly, but I can say that it is not unwelcome. It is... I wonder if exciting is too strong a word. I think of the conversations I could have with her about Cyrus, what moments of his life she might be able to tell me about, that I've been too afraid to be a part of, and it relieves me. A part of his legacy that I thought I'd never be able to connect with is now a part of my life again. I understand I must give her the space she needs until she is ready to talk about this, but I do look forward to finding a chance to speak to her about it. Bum, bum, bum. On the bright side, it seems the Luca won't be getting in the way of the investigation just yet. They're playing their hand quite well. Adding in words, they're playing their hand well, biding time until the stakes get higher and preparing to swoop in for the kill. I must be more vigilant regarding the information that I pass along to how the fuck do I say her name? Tiziana. I'm gonna say Tiziana. Her loyalties remain unswayed, and she remains a potential threat to my progress. Bum bum bum. Give me to a chapter save point. Which is probably after we get to the next location. In a moment, folks, because I'm probably gonna end also. Case note update. We have gained the assistance of one of the Bloodless's messengers, Vasco Tessitore, who has informed us that if we indeed desire the Bloodless's assistance in identifying the Herald and locating Lysandra, then we are first going to have to complete a contract on the Bloodless's behalf, on a matron of the Sorel ward called the Withering Mast. Though I have tried to steer clear of politics during my return here, I cannot say this turn of events surprises me. Also, where does this go? Training grounds. You can enter the training grounds when you are at the Astragari courtyard. Okay? Reset your skills and test new skills at the training grounds. Okie dokie. I see. That's what that is. I guess that's just an added-on thing. Like, you know, add on to armor or something, maybe? I don't really know. I don't really want to go to the training grounds at the moment. You can reset your... Okay, you know, I'm curious. Let's just take a look. Oh. Yeah, I don't feel like doing this. No. Nope.
Here we go, sir. All touched up.
Hello. New Masquerine. Bum, bum, bum. Assigning masks. No, they're Masquerines. Don't shorten that to masks. Newly obtained masks can be assigned in the masks menu by pressing the touchpad button. Okay. Oh. Or R2 circle, but you know, whatevs. They got all of them are colored. Oh. Okay, interrupt. So this is what I'm wearing right now. Interrupt, knockback, root, silence, slow, and stun effects, and gain 35 mask charge over 5 seconds. Conjures a gale around the caster for 20 seconds that knocks enemies back and deals 10 damage. Is that like the mask ability? I wonder. Conjures a stampede of lightning horses that deal 60 damage to any enemies in their path. I almost want to wear that. But I do like this. If I change that, does that change my abilities? No, okay, thank goodness. I was so worried that would change my abilities. Yeah, I don't like that. Actually, his original one is more. Alright, we're gonna try this, but we ultimately go back to that.
Where to, sir?
A Sorelle ward.
Oops.
The Withering Mast.
Oh wait, it's a Sorelle. It's not a Sorelle, it's just a Sorelle. Well, whatever. Okay, so we're gonna choose these two because I don't trust her with me. I don't trust her. Yeah, because apparently you can only have 3 people in your party. Boo. Although at one point we did have 4. Well, no, I'm the 4th person now that I think about it. Yeah, you don't have 5. No, we did have 4 people, yeah. Never mind. Whatever. It is what it is. Maybe it depends on other things.
It's rather curious that we're traveling to a Sorelle ward without our Sorelle.
There are some times when familiarity is less than wanted.
Now is one of those times?
Unfortunately so.
Even the best of the guilds still has shadows, doesn't it?
Interesting. They did this on purpose, so no matter who your 2 party members are, no one's in those other party members are talking.
We'll be here, sir.
And on that note, we're gonna end it here because I'm not gonna collect that thing. Well, let me just see here. If I go to return to menu, let's see where it loads. And I click continue. It should go right there. Because I assume that's a quick save. Yep. Googaland.
We'll be here, sir.
Huzzah! Alright. So, thank you all for joining me tonight, or whenever you watch this on YouTube later. This has been DarkElf85 on YouTube, or HektontheMage here on PSN, and this has once again been Masquerada, Songs and Shadows. I hope you all have a very good rest of the day, night, or anywhere in between. Stay safe out there, folks, and goodbye.